A couple of the videos that I've done, I do some piercing on the piece after it's turned, and I've had a few requests to show the equipment I use to do the piercing with. Normally I don't do a video if I think there's a good video out there already, and there are two pretty good videos, I think, one by Captain Eddie and one by Denton Turners. YouTube search for piercing on the cheek will find both of them, and they're worth watching. It's how I learned to do this. But still, I'm going to show the equipment I use, how I hook it up, where I got it, what's it going to cost, and I think that's pretty much it. I will try to list all my sources, and if I miss something, just leave a question in the comments, and I'll answer it as best I can. I'm going to assume that anybody that wants to get started doing this will already have a compressor. If not, most any 1 horsepower or more powerful compressor should work. You need about 2 cubic feet per minute at around 35 psi. And most compressors will give that information on the outside of the box, what their capacity is. More would be better. You might get by with a little less, but I wouldn't want to go too much less. Compressor will run all the time, and I don't like that. So after the compressor, these are the little hand pieces that I use. Get them from eBay. If you do a search for searching for NSK Pana Max 4-hole will find them. I tend to buy them I usually buy 5 at a time. They do wear out, and it's nice to have an extra one if you're working on a project and the one you're using goes bad. This is the air regulator I use. I got this off of eBay. It's got a water trap, which is nice, and it's got an oiler, which I don't use. This was about 15 bucks and shipping was included. I have it mounted on my mounting board. I have a magnet on the back of it. So I just stick that on my lathe when I'm working there. I tend to do my piercing at the lathe, either between centers, or a lot of times I'll work on a stack of paper towels, on a paper towel roll. That way, if I cut through, it doesn't matter. The paper towels are not going to hurt my burr. These cheaper hand pieces do require a drop of oil. I usually put a drop of air gun oil when I'm first starting and run it a little bit, and then I put a drop of air gun oil when I'm done piercing for the day, and again I run it a little bit. Even so, eventually the turbine will wear out. Hooking one of these up is pretty easy. This comes with a little wrench, so you can a person can tear this turbine apart or take the turbine out and clean it if it's necessary. Sometimes that'll get the thing running again, sometimes it won't. The handpiece comes with this fitting on the end of it. That's for where it would be hooked up in a regular dentist office. I just pull this plastic plug out. That's not necessary. It gives a person a little more room to get their tube on. If a person doesn't have a heat gun, can also soak the plastic in hot water or use a blow dryer. Brass fittings will leak if there's not some kind of sealer on the threads. I like Teflon tape. This can also be gotten at the local hardware. I already had some, so I didn't buy any. Pipe dope or putty will also work. Just a couple wraps around the threads. It doesn't have to be very tight. The tape will seal the threads and keep it from leaking. And around 30 to 35 pounds of pressure is enough to power this thing. More pressure makes it run faster, less pressure makes it run slower. And that's it. For 10, 15, 25, about call it $30 to $35, I was in business. The burrs I get from a company called burrsforcarving.com. I'll put a link in the description, and there are a couple other sources. I've had real good success with this guy. They're carbide, and they last a pretty long time. They're real easy to change. This button depresses, and that releases the burr. Press it again, and that clamps the burr in place. That's pretty much it. That's how I got started. You may find a better way, you may find cheaper. They're certainly more expensive out there. I like this because I can use two hands on it, and some of them look like a pen. I need two hands because I'm not real steady, and two hands helps me. So cost isn't the only thing. I just like the design of this handpiece. So that's it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'll answer them if I can. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And be safe.